Good morning, pregame crew. It is Tuesday, June 28th, 2022, 6:22 a.m. Mountain, 8:22 Eastern. That was a lot of twos. So I'm just going to trade anything with a 2 in it today. It seems like it's my number for the day. Good morning. How are ya? We're going to do an audio visual check, please. If you could let me know you can see my screen and hear my voice, that would be great. If you're tuning in later in the day, you may want to fast forward till this says 6:30 down here in the lower right corner. I'll get started with the indices, crypto, commodities, and movers and shakers of the day at that time. Between now and then, I'll do a little housekeeping, say hello to my friends, and I will do a couple chart requests. Good morning, aka Robert, Greg, Vin, Letitia. Hey, thank you. That's so nice, Letitia. You are sweet. Hey, Andre. Hey, Lisa, VNTC. My friend, Night Truck, Ed, Mal, Matthew, Gerbil, Mary. Oh, Tammy. Hey, Tammy. Thank you. Anu, Abram, Young Thunder, Ricky. You're probably driving, Tammy. Don't type anymore. I don't want you to wreck. Hey, Young. Thanks, Ricky. Bonjour, Maria, Casey, Swipe, Sir Andre. AR, hi. How are ya? Perfect. Thanks, Roger. Hey, Casey, DWZ. Ricky, you want Neo? Shocker. Anu, Sir, Bobby, Andre, John, Amira, Asia. You're dealing with a situation, Bennett. Hey, Jason, AQ. It was so nice meeting you, by the way, Amira, Asia. Hey, Luke, Trackmaster. Yep, I know it. You're driving. Okay, no more typing for you. I will be going over Amazon, though, okay? Hey, Scripps Man. Okay, let's do Neo for Ricky. I look at Neo, I promise you, every single morning. And it's because, let me show you why. This is our chat room. This is what it looks like. And I do a pre-market high volume scan on Thinkorswim. Without fail, NIO is in the top 5 to 10 tickers, typically the top 2 or 3 every single morning. It's moved around a ton in pre-market. With that kind of volume, you're typically going to get volatility and has a very large ATR. Let's look at the ATR and I'll go over the chart. I just want to tell you why Ricky likes it, why Dan trades it a lot. The ATR right now is $1.59 in a day. It has been as high, it's been higher than that. It was over $2 back here. It's kind of drying up a little bit, but still, that's a big mover for a small name, and that's why people like to trade it. So, with all that being said, this is where we are. We have a bearish engulfing candle on the daily yesterday, which means we surpassed Friday's high. We went over it, and then we dropped below Friday's low. We engulfed or eclipsed all of Friday's range. So to me, that has a bearish lean, but we've got tons and tons of acreage for a daily high or low before 1584. Tons. So I can't go bearish up here. It's tough for me to go bearish on this bullish of a chart. We do have a gap down here to be aware of right here. I'm going to have to turn off my alerts. They're going to get annoying. At 2089, and gaps tend to act as magnets. They don't necessarily have to be filled, but that's why I'm like all over the place on Neo. If you made me trade, said you have to pick a direction, I would be top fishing 23.57, and I'd give it about 15 cents wiggle room because we know how Neo likes to surpass resistance and then reverse, and same thing with support. So I overall have a bearish lean on the day. Bearish lean on the day. Now, I could be absolutely wrong, and we'll find out. The first 2 hours will probably give us a nice layout of what's going to be happening over the next few days. I feel like we're at a pivotal point here for that weekly lower high. We're scouting it for it to be set, but we'll see. Gerbil, isn't that true? Neo does trade like crypto. Okay, I see Rune. That's crypto, right? USDT. Okay, I'll do Binance Rune. We have a daily uptrend. This elevated bear volume right here. When we have these blips of volume, bear volume, I call that a shot across the bow. It's like warning, warning, warning. Bears are starting to play some defense here on this bounce. So I just take note of that volume. 4-hour lower high is more likely compared to 223.5 versus a higher high. So we do have a 4-hour downtrend, bear flag, confirmed. This bounce is decent enough that they've given themselves enough room for a higher low compared to $1.94.7. And then again, that resistance up at 2235. EMAs are overhead on the 4-hour. On the hourly, look where we're running into. The Great Wall of Louisiana, the yellow 50 MA. If you're interested in my chart setup, you can click on the video description below and it'll walk you through how I set my charts up, how I set my inside bars, which are yellow. And this yellow bar, this is what I like to think of when it's making this type of action. Think of it as a frown. Just look at the eyes here. It's a frown. It's sad. This chart is sad. So I like to think the slope of the EMA tells you a lot. When you have an EMA, I can't think of one right now, that's going like this, think of it as a smile. You see that? Slope of the EMA tells you the overall who's in charge of the chart and how fast they're driving it. So right now, bears have control of this chart. Beautiful attempt by the bulls. Again, they're in an hourly uptrend. And they may get an hourly higher low compared to 2075, but a 4-hour lower high is still the more likely scenario. You're welcome. You're in Arizona, Spicy. So is our daughter. Yeah, Chris does move Mary. Hey, Bobo. I will be going over Tesla. Oh, good. I'm glad you've made money both ways. I'm going over Apple. How about that? Why don't we just get started with the day? Y'all good with that? Let's get this show on the road. Well, good morning. You're at the pregame show. And this is who I am, ChartGalLori. You can follow me on Twitter at ChartGalLori. You can check us out at chartguys.com. And we have the community that I just showed you in Slack. And my job here every morning is just to walk you through the indices, commodities, crypto, movers and shakers of the day. I try to be as efficient as possible. I rip through about 25 charts in 25 minutes. And at 7 a.m. my time, Charting Man Dan will go live in our chat room. So that's why I condensed this show down to about 25 minutes. Okay, let me pause my alerts. Give me a second. Am I sure? Yes. Okay, so here are my notes. I type out all my notes. My goal is not to read them to you. My goal is just by typing these out is to keep myself organized. I use terms like Queen of the Mountain. Man, I haven't said that in a while, have I? It's been a couple weeks since I've said it. Ninjas, when I say Queen of the Mountain, it's a setup I like better than others. And I am leaning toward XLY shorts, consumer discretionary shorts today. And the largest name in consumer discretionary is Amazon, and then Tesla. Nike is number 4 or 5. I put it in the chat room earlier. I can go back and look, but it's like number 4 or 5. So overall, Nike could be impacting that sector. And as Dan said yesterday, market recap video, and this morning, we need all sectors to be moving in the right direction in order for SPY to get the next leg up. And XLY may weigh on the market today with that Nike miss. I have so much to talk to you about. How am I going to get this done? All right, we're just going to move through, all right? So if you're interested in my chart setup, again, you can click on the link below in the video description. Hang Seng was up slightly overnight. DAX is up currently. Hang Seng was up 0.85 and DAX is up about 1%. So slightly green. Sometimes we can take a clue from that, and sometimes there's really no clue. I don't see a clue, any type of edge in that information. Looking at ES, we had that channel yesterday, and I'm going to roughly draw it here. I drew it for you yesterday. We had that channel we were watching. We fell bear out of that, but we were unable to take out yesterday's high at 3948. So now, make it simple. And maybe it's just because I'm from Louisiana originally that I have to keep things simple for my simple brain. But I like to just, when it's really close to a psychological level, just keep it simple. As long as we're below 39.50, I'm looking short, period. I'm looking for that weekly lower high. If we take out 39.50 decisively, then I back off my thesis. And it's a thesis, meaning it doesn't absolutely have to happen like that, but I have to go in with the most likely scenario in my head. The most likely scenario for me is we are looking for a weekly lower high. Daily, we are trapped under the 50 RSI, otherwise known as the 26 EMA. It is clear, super clear resistance on ES, on NQ, on RTY, and YM, okay? And on the 4 hour, I'm already in a top fish against 39.48, and I have my stop just above 39.50. But I don't want to get it twisted. Friday's action was super, super impressive. I'm going to delete all this now. So support 3885, resistance 3950. Friday, the bulls put on a show. This is not to be forgotten, if you will. This is healthy sideways action in a pennant formation. This absolutely could be a 12-hour bull flag. I'm not going to deny the bulls that, and I'm not going to just keep trying to short and be wrong. But at this juncture, it is the most logical approach is to look short. And I'm just going to, I didn't plan on going over this, but Netflix. We can wait. I get a lot of questions of people asking, well, that didn't work out. Well, you gave it 5 minutes to work out after the market opened. You got to give things more time to work out. I posted this in our chat room yesterday. This magnet, come on, magnet. You're making me mad. Y'all get the picture. It's a 15-minute EQ. A 15-minute EQ, and it was just getting really, really tight. So my best trade of the day came at an hour and 45 minutes before the market closed. I posted this setup. We saw the uptick in bull volume, and I took this trade for about 35% on options. It was my best trade of the day. So don't just get uber focused. Okay, well, Lori said bearish, so I'm gonna look bearish as soon as the market opens. You don't necessarily, we can have to take a trade at the beginning. We can wait. We have that kind of patience. We have that kind of self-control. Okay, on the daily, as I did yesterday, I want to keep reminding y'all of these gaps overhead, 40144. And then I'm going to keep pounding the table on that 38995 dark pool level with $11 billion. Price continues to hit that area over and over and over. So 40144 is another gap overhead that we haven't filled that could act like a magnet. And then we just got to be real with ourselves. We could go take out that gap from where we are right now. It's only 2.5% above, and it would still be a weekly lower high would still be in play, scouting a weekly lower high. So we can move up. Okay, let me do that. We can move up 6% and still not have a weekly higher high. So it doesn't mean this is the perfect location for a top fish, but I like locations for top fish when I have a clear level to top fish. And in this scenario, I have a clear level to top fish, that 3948. NQ is weaker. NQ, after I put on my ES short, I realized that Nasdaq was definitely weaker, and that was probably the better indices or index to short. So that's my bad, but my trade is working and has worked so far. I've taken off partial profit. So we have a top fish here. You have resistance at the high of yesterday, 12262. Your overnight high, 16375. Nasdaq is the weakest of our four. So last week when we were having those killer days, namely Friday, it was because Apple semiconductors stepped up and banks stepped up in a leadership kind of way. Well, it looks like NQ may be a little sputtering here a little bit. They may be a little gassed. These bulls are a little tired. So an hourly higher low, however, is still expected compared to 11,971. So we could EQ out the rest of this today. We have enough room for a higher low. However, we pulled back enough to possibly get a lower high, and we could just EQ out the rest of the day. So, of course, we never know what's going to happen. We stay open to all possibilities. We have a gap overhead to be aware of on QQQ 29923. And then RTY. We were watching this channel yesterday here, and then we got back up in the channel, rejected. But overall, RTY is strong, the strongest of the four, the IWM Russell. Russell finished its rebalancing yesterday. IWM, I'm saying Russell like it's my friend. Hey, Russ. IWM finished the reconstitution and rebalancing yesterday. That may have some type of effect. I'm not smart enough to know how, but we have enough room for an hourly higher low, and RTY is our strongest. So with this relative strength, you would look for the day to possibly short technology names because NQ is weaker, and go long IWM names, small to mid cap names, because they're relatively outperforming. Names like solar names, for example, they had a great day yesterday. Any name that ran hard yesterday, like solar, I would put those on back burner watch. Scouring. Scalping? I don't know what you're asking, BNTC. I scour over charts. That means I'm scanning charts, but I'd rarely use that word. So I do mean I scalp a lot. So maybe my accent's messing up stuff. I don't know. I haven't said honey badger either. You're right. I haven't. Mal. So YM got a double top overnight, 31678, then 31695. So let me just type it here. There. Let me type it from strongest to weakest. Okay? Strongest RTY, then YM, then ES, then EQ. NQ is the weakest. So if you want to screenshot that, I just like to get that relative weakness and strength. Get rid of that. TradingView and I are not getting along. I thought last week I could just click this trash can and it would remove everything. Well, now I have to click remove drawings. I can't just click the trash can. So throwing me off here. So on YM, we're definitely stronger. And by the way, SAIA, ARCB, JBHT, ODFL, all of these trucking names, they all received upgrades this morning. The trucking sector looked like Credit Suisse was going for most of the air freight carriers, trucking railroads like CSX. I can't even think of all the names, but they upgraded. It looked like they just went for a carte blanche upgrade over all things IYT and transportation. So be aware of that. And I have a tattoo on my forehead screaming weekly lower high, weekly lower high, weekly lower high. Daily 50 RSI is resistance for now on the Fab 4 indices. Top fishing the overnight high presents a lower risk setup. It doesn't mean you won't get stopped out, but your stop is nearby in that 39.37. You can use the 39.37 on ES versus 39.48. But again, I would be looking at Nasdaq for a short if you don't already have a position, because it's definitely the weakest. Indices, we got potential 12-hour bull flags on all of our Fab 4. We went over who's weaker, who's stronger. 12-hour has that double top. And then let's look at VIX. I did say today. I did. Oh, I said since Jesus was a baby, I think yesterday. I don't know. I got to bring them all out, huh? So we have a daily triple bottom on VIX. As long as this triple bottom is holding, that gives me a bear lean on the market, a bull lean on VIX. We saw some divergence yesterday where the VIX was up 3% yesterday morning and the market was green. So they're not always a one-to-one inverse relationship. However, they are finding support down here. But what happens every time you tap on a support? Every time you tap it, you are removing supply underneath. And typically, the more times you hit that level, you will fall through. So VIX could fall through and it could give the market a pop and confirm those 12-hour bull flags. I remain open to all outcomes. Why do I have Robinhood pulled up? Well, I try not to go over fundamentals here. First of all, I'm not a fundamental expert at all. I went to a SEC school, so I don't know. Even my MBA may have come out of a Cracker Jack machine. Some of you may think that, but I don't go over fundamentals a lot, but I thought it was interesting. I was listening to Brian Sullivan talking about Hood and its balance sheet, and it made me go look it up. I was looking at the cash on hand for Hood, Robinhood, $6.2 billion. So this is stated in millions, $6.2 million. Look at this. The market cap was $7.6 billion. The market cap, meaning the price of the stock multiplied by the number of shares outstanding. 7.62 billion, and they have 6.2 billion of cash. if the market cap drops below the cash on hand, wouldn't that be a steal? Can you imagine paying for, like $5 billion for a company that has $6.2 billion in cash? That's a no-brainer. We should all pull our money together and buy Robinhood. I mean, it's becoming a steal. This chart is a mess. I don't like it. They had some acquisition news, a rumor come out yesterday. It proved to be false, but I'm going to keep Hood on my radar. I am going to keep Hood on my radar. I would love a pullback in the $8 range for a possible buy and hold. So that intrigued me as a business lover. So I just thought you would find that interesting. Oh, and I forgot to ask, if you could hit that like button, I would greatly appreciate it. All right, now let's get to crypto. Exactly. Exactly, MG. It would be trading below book value. And businesses are typically valued at a net present value of cash flow, discounted cash flow. So so if their income is 1.2 billion, then you say, okay, it's a 5, 6, 7 times multiple. So I get that could be a reasonable valuation as well, but even that yields you like an $8 or $9 billion. Yeah, anyway, I digress. Bitcoin 12-hour is clear for me. And what's clear for me is that these higher highs are just not getting a lot of follow through. This just looks like a rising wedge to me. This could be that bear flag on the weekly. So caution Bitcoin bulls. Resistance 21189. We do currently, no, we don't have an hourly uptrend. It wasn't confirmed. Lower low to a higher high to a higher low. We've got to take out 21189 in order to confirm the hourly uptrend. You have a support at 20887. Crosstalk. That's funny. You need a pre-market prenup. That was that gold digger with Kanye West. We want a prenup. 1237 is resistance. You got a triple top in that area at 1232, 1231, 1237. You have support at 1160. 12-hour looks very similar. However, when I look at it on the 4-hour, you can see that Ethereum is right up there at resistance on the 4-hour, and Bitcoin is much farther down. It's weaker. 4-hour lower high is almost a given at this point, a very high probability scenario compared to 21520. So Bitcoin is weaker. Support 20479. So the same thing that Dan bangs the table on SPY and QQQ. If SPY breaks a resistance and QQQ doesn't, it's not very likely that SPY will get follow through on that bull break and it will pull back. Same thing with Bitcoin and Ethereum. If Ethereum breaks that 4-hour higher high and makes a higher high and Bitcoin does not, then the odds favor that this will give back those gains. Ethereum will give back its gains if Bitcoin cannot take out the 4-hour higher high as well. So don't forget that. I gave you the resistance and support on Ethereum. All right, gold. Yeah, I have Nike comments somewhere up here. Did I? I thought I wrote it somewhere. I wrote China exposure down here. I wanted to remember it. So Nike had earnings yesterday. They had a slight miss. It wasn't that bad. They announced a buyback, some $10 billion buyback or whatever. But the alarming news from Nike was that their China year-over-year sales is down 20%. This is the third quarter in a row they're announcing the China sales are down. I'm sure that's partly due to COVID and the lockdowns. But that will affect companies like Starbucks, Apple, Tesla that have a large China presence. So don't forget that. And again, Nike is a very large component in consumer discretionary, which Tesla and Amazon are a large part of. Okay, so we talked about all that. 15-minute downtrend on gold. Okay, let's go look at commodities. So on commodities, it just keeps breaking support. Every time I see something constructive, okay, look here, bulls, you have a chance. You can do it. Bear flag, and they break bear. Now, it's only broken bear by $1. Let's see if they can recover this. But whatever bull attempts they continue to make, continue to get thwarted. There's a word. That is a big word for 6:47 a.m. for me anyway. It continues. All bull efforts continue to get thwarted by bears. So you have that key support at 1806. And we are on our second weekly inside bar. So that explains the erratic action, like a girl walking home from the bar in high heels, where you're just making higher highs, straight to lower lows, lower high, lower high. And this is how the chart looks. That inside bars bring about erratic price action inside those as the bulls and bears probe liquidity. That's going to drive me crazy. 2 clicks, as much as graffiti as I use. So we do have a 15-minute EQ. I mean, gold, they're giving it the good college try here to try to pull something out. But again, if I have to trade gold, I'm just going to short bounces until that stops working because the metals continue to roll over. Oil, I'm in a short right now on oil. I top fish this double top, 111.72. My entry is posted in the commodities channel, the setup and the entry, along with my stop loss, risk, and when I would add. So I was top fishing this hourly double top on oil, looking for this daily lower high. So yesterday I talked to y'all about a potential daily bear flag on oil. Well, that has been negated. We have bounced enough now for a potential higher low on a pullback. So I'm just looking for a short scalp. I'm in the money about 50 cents now. I'm in the money. So it's a profitable trade for me right now, looking for that daily lower high. Using the hourly double top. And the 15-minute, we have a downtrend now. Resistance 111.60, support 110.78, 110.45. Nat gas. Oh, John, hi. Will you bring a smile to my face? Thank you for being here. Hit that like button. I was thinking this morning, man, if I had this face, I follow this girl. She actually knows what she's doing. This was her post this morning. I'm like, well, crap, if I look like that, we'd have a lot of members. We'd have a lot of Twitter followers. Okay, enough silly talk. On the daily, on Nat gas, this still looks like a bear flag. I disclosed to you yesterday, I bought that dip on Nat gas. I am now fully out of that position, anticipating a daily lower high in this daily bear flag formation. So we have an hourly uptrend. If you're in long, there's no reason to get out of any long as long as the hourly EMAs are below you. Let me say that again. Get a tattoo of this. There's no reason to get out of a long as long as the hourly EMAs are below you, period. There's no reason to get out. Change that. Give me a follow on Twitter at ChartGalLori, and don't forget to hit that like button on the video. And I just have to say it when it comes to my brain. Sorry. We got some bull volume coming in. This is typically the time of morning Nat gas bulls like to make their move, and there they go. Hourly uptrend. Apple. Oh, that's sweet, Brian. That's so sweet. Y'all are cute. So Apple, I am looking for a top fish on Apple. So the Nike China news is in the back of my brain, but I can't trade that alone. I have to have a setup. We closed that gap. We're looking for a weekly lower high. We're at the weekly 8 EMA. I'm looking for a top fish. A top fish of 14266 resistance, then 14309. I'm willing to top fish up to 14370. And y'all know I like to write out my Apple stuff because if you're like me, the way my memory works, if I see it, I don't forget it. 14370. If I see it written out versus hearing it. 14370. That's how far up I would go for a top fish on Apple because we know Apple's like Neo, likes to break resistance, then reverse, break support, and reverse. Amazon. Anonymous, you're just so popular. MG, that's ridiculously funny. I get a lot of questions about this. How do I get my levels when they're not the high of yesterday? Okay, so Amazon's high of yesterday was 117.98. And you'll notice in my notes, I'm like a top fish setup against 115.21. Why 115.21? Because it's a 15-minute intraday resistance level that I feel comfortable being aggressive. And a conservative bear is going to wait for the high of yesterday. I'm okay being aggressive because consumer discretionary is getting hit this morning. Amazon is a 23% holding in XLY, by the way. It is escalating exponentially. I mean, last time I looked at it was at 17% of XLY. So I don't know if it's because of stock split and they're buying more. I don't know why, but Amazon is 1/4 of the XLY ETF. So I like a top fish of Amazon. This is one of my Queen of the Mountain trades. NVIDIA. Asia, that's what I love you. I love you. I love you. Thank you. Yes, John, I did top fish XBI, and it's my Queen of the Mountain trade today as well. I like Amazon short and XBI short. Those are my Queen of the Mountain setups. So on NVIDIA, top fish of 17157. I tell y'all, these are my Wheel of Fortune names. These are the 4 names I cover every day because I know y'all are going to ask me about it. But NVIDIA, I don't have a trade there. I can't trade that. Maybe y'all can, and y'all are smarter than me, but I can't trade that. It's in no man's land, purgatory for me. Tesla. So on Tesla, like a top fish setup against yesterday's high. Again, taking advantage of that consumer discretionary weakness. And if you want a intraday level, you could top fish against 749.30. Let's say 750 to make it simple. So you could top fish. The most aggressive bear is looking to top fish against the pre-market high, 74185. And a more conservative bear is waiting for that 750 area. Thank you anyway, Asia. Okay, so EVFM, please no political commentary. I've got my mods in here. MG's got my back. So please, 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 no political commentary. So the names related to the Roe versus Wade decision, whatever that decision, bad, good, indifferent, alien, I don't know a judgment or attachment to the decision as a trader. If you ask Citizen Lori, I may have things to say about it. Trader Lori, I have nothing to say about it except for give me levels to trade. So EVFM, it's something to do with Plan B, and they were up almost 200% at one time yesterday. And this morning they're up 26%. This is a ninjas only, meaning that this is very volatile. You don't want to get trapped in this penny stock, but it does have a lot of volatility. So shorting it, going long, they're all high risk scenarios. FEMY, political commentary. That's pretty funny. That's right. No political commentary, and you type political commentary food. Good one. FEMY is in that same grouping of names. They were up 30% yesterday, a slight laggard to EVFM. So I like this one a little better because, again, it's a laggard and it has this hourly EQ. Using 231 as support, it could be a good dip buy opportunity. Let's see. Home Depot, consumer discretionary. And if you've been around these parts for a while, you know I like going long Home Depot this time of year right before hurricane season. So I like Home Depot dip buy on a pullback to say 275. I think that'd be a great area to go long for a potential swing on Home Depot, looking forward, not looking forward as in good, but looking ahead to the hurricane season. So, but right here, right now, we have a daily triple top on Home Depot using 285 for top fish level. XBI. Mindful focus on charts. That's a better way of saying it, sir. WAGM. Thank you. Never spelled laggard before. Okay, so on XBI, Dan has been mentioning he's looking for a top fish. I like a top fish against 7766 or $78, either one. Aggressive are looking at 7766. Conservative bears are looking at $78. Looking for some, just for the bulls to take a pause. Just a pause, because they've got their daily trend change and they've got their weekly trend change. But just looking for a breather. That's it. Just a breather. So I like XBI top fish. This is my #1 setup today. All right. I'll go over coin for you, and then I'm going to wrap it up. I was a little long-winded today. That never happens. 57.72 is resistance. Then 58.41, you have support at 55.61 and 55.02. They had a lot of options activity yesterday, and I think someone was selling puts on it, which is bullish. But it has hourly EQ support, 55.61, 55.02. I'd be looking at top fish, 58.41. So if the market is pulling back today and Bitcoin gets that 4-hour lower high, I would look to short coin. All right, that's it for me. Thank you for joining me. Hit that like button before you exit the door. Hit that subscribe and notify button. Give me a follow on Twitter at ChartGalLori. TCGers, I'll see you in the room. I'll be live today in 3 hours in our chat room, answering whatever questions you may have. We can hang out together and use stop losses.